This is the Jay Pitt Show.
I saw this tweet. This is from Amy Nixon on Twitter. It said, possibly the most shocking housing stat I've seen recently. The median age of a renter in the United States was 42 years old as of 2024, up from 33 years old just 3 years prior. The source is Zillow.
Interesting.
So 3 years ago, the median age of a renter was 33, and now it's 42 years old.
Okay, so I think initially your reaction would be, wow, older people are going back to renting. That seems like the direct, but actually I think it's probably the opposite. My head initially goes to, are older homeowners selling and going back to renting? I don't think that's the case. What I think is a serious contingent of young millennial and Gen Z people that would have typically been renters moved into the housing market over the past few years as owners, leaving just a smaller ratio of them. And the 42-year-old that is renting on average is a lifelong renter.
That is close to number one.
Okay.
And that's very well could be the issue. Nobody knows if these are right. So what she said, number one, was very young people under 30 are now just living at home and not renting on their own.
Oh, interesting. That could be true also. It could be a combination of both. They're either owning homes
Yep.
or living at home.
Yep. And then number two, older people, she said 30 plus, but I don't know. Once you're like 25 or older, I'd consider that older people. But older people who want to buy homes but are priced out or hate the market are renting. I could see that one, and here's why. I'm working with a handful of friends right now that didn't buy a home right out of college. I'm helping them look right now, and the price they're looking in is very, very thin.
Yeah.
Not much on the market at all.
Give me
Under
a price.
350,000.
Under 350, yeah.
And they're fine with 2 bedrooms, but they would love 2 baths if they can get it. 1.5's fine. All, for the most part, they all want fences. Not really a deal breaker, but a big thing because they have dogs. And there's just not much out there. And they're getting frustrated. And they might have started looking a few years ago. And they're like, well, let me see if my income increases. But home prices are increasing more than wages are right now.
I guarantee it.
And they're struggling to find anything, and they're all on month-to-month leases now, just waiting for the thing to come along.
The crazy thing. Like, it just gets worse.
It does.
Like, people waiting for price. I mean, you could go back years, Ryan, on this podcast. When you and I first started doing this, you could go back, and I'm almost certain you could find this somewhere in the transcript of the show is, maybe it was surrounding the whole, buy the house, date the rate nonsense that we, debunked a few times. But the concept is this: historic low inventory with huge levels of family formations equals greater demand than supply. And when demand is greater than supply, prices go up.
Yeah.
And they're going to keep going up. Even if we're in a recession, prices are going to go up.
Yeah. And, another thing about this is a lot of my friends have had parents that have given them gifts to buy houses. And I know there's a big stigma around that of, oh, man, you're doing too much for them. They're not going to learn how to do anything on their own. But when you really look at it, that money is going to get passed down eventually anyways. Of course. And you're giving your kids money to do one of the smartest things you can do, and that's put it into an appreciating asset that is not easy to liquidate, like with the click of a button. So at least it's going into real estate. They're getting a home to live in that's appreciating. Money's going to go to them anyways, and you're just doing it now in a way that's tax-free. So I know there's a stigma around it, but it's really the smart thing to do.
I had the idea to literally buy a home as a rental investment that I would give to my kids, like an actual house. It'll be operated as a rental investment until then, so it'll make me money as it's going up in value. I will have locked in a low price, lower certainly than when my kids are the age that they would want to be homeowners.
Isn't it insane to think about what homes will cost when your kids are 23, 24?
Yeah, it is.
It's pretty insane.
It is. So guess what? If I do it now, I'm giving them a leg up. Now, look, they may want to live somewhere else, and that's fine. Then they can sell it. Or they can mortgage it and take the money and buy. Or they can fix it up or they can do whatever. Yeah, there's I think something that I should probably consider doing in a neighborhood where I feel like that they would feel safe. I can probably project that 10, 15, 20 years out. Certainly areas change, and
It probably wouldn't be a home that would cash flow very much for you.
not now. I mean, maybe.
Maybe
You
a
know,
little.
but I was just thinking, like, you know, it's not going to be a typical investment for me. It's going to be a slightly nicer investment, something that I think will slightly newer, that will, you know, hold value over time and stay, you know, pretty well. But yeah, I've kind of thought about that. You know, it was funny. I own a house on Evelyn Avenue. My daughter's middle name. You know, my daughter's name, my middle child's name. And we joked about buying the kids a house on, because, you know, Preston Highway, that's my oldest son. I don't know about any Coltons, but like, you know, I don't know any Colton streets, but like,
Just starting a new development.
I'll
and
just
name
start
one
a
of the
new, have to
streets
do a new
Colton.
development and
Yeah.
name the streets after him. But yeah, that's how we were like, what if we just, you know, gave Evelyn the house on Evelyn Avenue? That's not, you know, probably the type of house or investment that I would want to give her, but that stemmed into a conversation where I was like, you know, what are houses going to be? What are they going to cost in 20 years? Maybe I should make a move.